KTN. Tonight, we're set to have a one-on-one conversation with a man who has been a thorn in the flesh of the current administration, of which he was part of until his impeachment in 2024. The Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP, which was just launched last year, is reeling from a victory in the just concluded by-election, which was quite decisive. But we equally saw that by-election characterized by events that need to be called out. We saw goons, masked, armed men actually cause chaos in some instances, but we equally saw the lavish spending and the rollout of a litany of development projects by the Ruto-led administration and the UDA party. So we'll be evaluating the good, the bad, and the ugly side of the outcome of that mini poll and what exactly it means for Mount Kenya's political outlook. Is it a political statement or just a drop in the ocean? What of the united opposition and their plans to coalesce around one candidate, even as we edge closer to the 2027 general election, which is just a year and some change away? So much to talk about, so little time. Allow me to introduce the man of the hour, former Deputy President and DCP party leader, Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua. Thank you so much for making time and welcoming us to your humble abode.
Thank you, Rogers, and most welcome. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with KTN. Undoubtedly, one of the most informative and objective stations that we have in this country. I remember when KTN came on the stage. Previously, we had KBC. It was the only source of information. And government then would chaperone the way people think. And then when KTN came on board, just before the advent of multipartyism, it brought freshness into the information space. And for many years, you guys have done well. And I'm always happy to have an interview with you. And I also want to thank you for bringing me out from the village. I've been in Wamunyoro for the last almost 1 month. And when this interview was agreed, I needed to come to the city to talk to the nation. Normally from Wamunyoro, I talk to the Mount Kenya people. It looks good for me to talk to the people of Kenya from the capital city. So thank you for giving me an opportunity to come to the city, also to have a change of clothes, do a few financial transactions, go to the bank, see my dentist, pass through my doctor, and then tomorrow I go back to the village. Okay. So I'm just here for a day.
Asante for the sacrifice. Yeah. And there's a lot to talk about, and we'll start where we should, the Ol Kalou aftershocks, because the political symbolism of that Ol Kalou parliamentary by-election seems to have sent shockwaves across the country, barely a year and some change to the general election. The jury is out there on what that victory by DCP means in terms of the bigger picture. Some downplay the outcome. Others are saying this is a sign of things to come. So I'll start with my first question. Is this win in Ol Kalou a yardstick of the voting patterns in the Mount Kenya region?
Yes and no. Ol Kalou has shocked William Ruto and his people because they live in denial. It has not shocked me on the mountain. Ruto and his people thrive on lies and deception. And they believe that money is everything. Deception, that you can deceive people all the time. So he believed in the power of money, chiefs, elders, nyumba kumi, cabinet secretaries, police, goons, but he doesn't know the mountain. I knew of that outcome. I knew the win was certain. I was just waiting for the margin because I know the mountain. And what has happened to this Ol Kalou by-election, I've seen Ruto and his people crying that we are celebrating too much. Yes, we are celebrating because of various issues that are important. One, I knew when I talked to the people of the mountain, since I left office, UDA was dead. William Ruto was finished in the mountain. And I knew that because I'm a man who listens to the ground. I talk to the people. The people of the mountain don't talk much. Even when they're angry, they just sing. You don't see them coming in the streets to riot. You know, when I was removed from office, William Ruto was telling a friend of mine that even people outside my home, a town called Kiamariga, nobody complained. People just kept quiet because that's who they are. The mountain people are quiet people. So I knew since 2024, October, that UDA was dead and William Ruto, his fate was sealed. All Kalau was just a confirmation of what I knew. The people of the mountain was just confirming what they know and what they intend to do in the coming general election. Yeah? So it's a shock to them, not to us. As we have just confirmed what we have known all along. Mm-hmm. And it gives us impetus now to activate the final phase as we go towards the next general election.
Okay.
That our marriage with William Ruto is over. It has been over for the last 2 years. This is just a confirmation. They call it in marriage, when you get married, a couple, there's something they call consummation of marriage. Mm. Now, this one is a divorce. It's the final papers. Yeah, the divorce has been there. It's been going on back and forth, courts, but the final proclamation has been done, and the marriage is irreversibly broken. The mountain has moved on, okay, and we expect William Ruto to move on, so that everybody just moves in his own direction, and then we'll face each other down there next year.
So, for the skeptics out there, kindly break down, how does a parliamentary win translate to the presidential race in 2027? Because ideally, the focus of the voters in All Kalau would be on the quality of the 9 candidates on the ballot, not a veto against a national leader.
The 2010 Constitution has a provision that for you to be elected president, you must attain 50+1. That particular provision portends that the Mount Kenya region is central in electing a president. Since the proclamation of the 2010 Constitution, whoever the mountain has supported has been president. President Uhuru Kenyatta was supported by the mountain and others, and he became president. The same happened in 2017. In 2022, President William Ruto was supported by the mountain and others, and he became president. From where I sit, being a very practical realist, politics is a game of numbers. The mountain has moved away from William Ruto. He has no chance whatsoever, because that vote is huge. And it's even more complicated because in 2022, he got 87% of the vote. 13% went to Raila Odinga. 1.6 million people did not vote. That 87%, that 13%, that 1.6 that did not vote are all together against him. Whoever they'll vote for, either from the mountain or from outside the mountain, will be the next president of the Republic of Kenya. These are statistics. Okay. It's not anything that is, numbers don't lie. And we have a history that from 2013, 2017, 2022, William Ruto became president courtesy of the mountain vote that has now moved away from him. And all Kalau was just a pointer of how things will be. In fact, the 13% that the UDA candidate got is for the UDA candidate because he's a local, he's called Mushina. He has been working with the CDF office for 13 years. And naturally, he has relatives, he has friends, he has people he has assisted here and there. If it was William Ruto as president, I want to tell you today, without battling an eye, he would not have gotten 3%. And the people of Olkalau wanted to make a statement. At 5, they were on the queue. By 12 o'clock, 57% of registered voters had voted, 45,000 votes, and 40,000 votes. And there was voter suppression from midday all the way to the evening. Had there been no voter suppression, it is my estimation that we would have had 75% voter turnout. And that would have reduced what UDA got to a single digit, 6-7%. So that is where we are.
Okay.
And that is what's happening in Kiambaa. What happens in Kiambaa is what will happen in Madeira. What happens in Madeira is what will happen in Igembe Central. If you remember, UDA came in through 2 by-elections. One in a place called Rulie, that is Olkalau, and Kiambaa.
A year before the election.
A year before the election.
Yes.
Normally, the mountain, the way, we have history. A region has a way it does its politics. It has a tradition. Mm-hmm. One, the mountain does not divide its vote. We only divided last year, 2022, 87-13. Because Uhuru Kenyatta was there, he was president, he had some followers. I was there, I represented the change the people desired. So 87-13. But previously, it's normally a homogeneous vote. The decisions in the mountain are made through by-elections. TNA, the party of Uhuru Kenyatta, came to the stage through a by-election in Kangema in 2012. And once it won that by-election, that was it. UDA came through Rulie and Kiambaa. And if you look at the Kiambaa win, it was close. UDA defeated Jubilee by only 500 votes. I was in charge of that campaign. And by the way, Rogers, I'm an expert in by-elections. I've never lost a by-election. I never lose by-elections. The difference between DCP, the party of the moment in the mountain, and UDA, William Ruto's party, was 30,000 votes. 30,000. And had the police goons, the rogue police officers, who caused voter suppression through violence, if they had allowed the voting to go on, this margin would have been 50,000. So that's where we are.
Okay.
And we are pleased with what's going on because I was aware that is the situation myself. But I too wanted some bit of confirmation scientifically as to where the mountain is. I am now very clear in my mind. I knew that's where we are, but sometimes it's good to do things in a practical way, test and see. The win, if we win. We have demonstrated that capacity because Kenyans also want somebody who can win and protect the win. I have that capacity.
Okay.
However, it's the desire of the people of Kenya that William Ruto is one term. It is the desire of the people of Kenya that it is easier if we have one single presidential candidate. And Kenyans want us to unite and choose one presidential candidate. I am of the school of thought and have persuaded my colleagues that you can only remove Ruto from office through political mobilization and marshalling enough numbers to remove him from office. Knowing Kenyan political space and the voting pattern and the way votes are mobilized, I have ask my colleagues that we do what we need to do. Each person strengthens his political party and mobilizes his backyard so that we have enough numbers to remove William Ruto from office. Those numbers cannot be mobilized on a table or on a theoretical framework. Hard work must be done. I work very hard, and Kenyans know. I am a very serious presidential candidate, and I'm very determined to help the people of Kenya to get rid of William Ruto because, to a large extent, I bear the greatest responsibility of putting him in office, me and my people. And hence, since there is a problem in the country, I owe it to the people of Kenya to even play a greater role to allow me to fly the flag. If I am not successful in that quest, and my colleagues persuade me otherwise, that for us to remove William Ruto, I need to give on to a man.
So you don't mind being the deputy presidential candidate or even a junior role?
I don't even have to be anything. Today, Rogers, I am nobody. I don't have a salary. I don't have security. I occupy no position in this country. But I influence things. I make things happen in this country. I'm the point of reference in all matters. Everybody answers me daily. I don't have to be anybody to influence change of government for the better. I am a man who is willing to sacrifice anything to bring good change and good governance in this country. I am willing to sacrifice anything, including my presidential ambition, to make sure William Ruto is one term. I am willing to support anybody to first prove to William Ruto that I'm not tribal, because when I supported him, he was not Kikuyu, he was Kalenjin, and I supported him. I can support somebody else. I am willing and ready with my...
Introducing ClickUp Super Agents, the world's first AI agents that natively collaborate with humans and always have
flag. Many Kenyans want me to carry the flag. They say they want somebody who can get rid of William Ruto. William Ruto is not a walk in the park. Some serious work needs to be done. And people are persuaded that they also need somebody who knows him well. That's how I beat him with my boys in Olkalau, because we know him. He cannot play around with us because we made him who he is. You know, my friend, when you build a house, if you want to demolish it, you are the best person to demolish it because you know where you put steel, where you put less cement. Okay. A builder is the best. If you want to demolish a house, the first person you should call is the one who built it. He will demolish it for you very fast. In case you don't get him, you get look at us. They may struggle because they don't know where there is a strong beam, where there's a strong column, where they put a lot of vibration. But we are the ones who made William Ruto president.
Okay.
And we know how he became president. We know his weaknesses. We know where we can be able to corner him. I think I'm the best person. But I have total commitment to the identification of a single presidential candidate. It's one of the discussions that is going on in Wamanyoro. It's very heated. It's very heated, that discussion. If they are saying it's you, yes, it must be you. I say, okay, what if it's not me? Who we are discussing?
Who are they saying if it's not you?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the discussion. It's going on. It's going on. It's going on.
Okay. You're on record saying that you'll be signing a public pact as the United Opposition Principles with the people of Kenya committing to support whoever will be picked.
That was my proposal. I believe my colleagues will agree because I have asked them many times. I have made public pronouncement to say, I regard Gachagua as presidential candidate. If it's not me, I'll support somebody else. I asked my colleagues when we were at Bungoma also to pronounce themselves so that also you don't put your supporters in a corner. You know, if you say it is you and it's you and it's you, if it is not you, there could be some complication.
And a fallout.
Yes. So what I have done myself, because I'm so genuine and I'm so desirous that we have one presidential candidate because of the urgency of removing William Ruto from office, because he's bad for the country. The country is getting finished. The country has been taken over by goons and rogue police officers. So what I have done, I have prepared my supporters, who are in millions, for the eventuality that there is a possibility it is not me. So that if we agree we support somebody else, I carry them along. I am tonight once more asking my colleagues that they must continuously pronounce themselves before their supporters, the way I do. It's beyond you as a person. For him to go easily, we must have one presidential candidate, not two. Since it is critical, because that is what Kenyans want, it is incumbent upon all the candidates to continue preparing their supporters of the eventuality that it could be them or not them. I think it's not too much to ask.
Your take on the Linda Mwananchi faction, and as I ask this, just today, Dr. Fred Matiang'i was hosting a section of leaders from Linda Mwananchi, and optics in politics plays a very big part. Nothing happens by chance. So did you know of this meeting? Give us your take on Linda Mwananchi.
Yeah, I was told about it. It's a good meeting.
No.
I think continuous engagement among people who are like-minded is very healthy. Linda Mwananchi is a good outfit. I have tremendous respect for those young people. And by the way, I'm one serious leader who believes in our young people. If you look the guys around me, they are all young. I am a very genuine leader. When I say I'm mentoring young people, I do it. If you look at Olkalau, I never went to Olkalau myself to campaign.
Why is that?
I left it to the young people. You know, I've been mentoring young leaders within my region because I don't want a situation where we could be where President Uhuru Kenyatta left us. President Uhuru Kenyatta did a lot for this country, and we respect him for the work he did for this country. But in his politics, in our region, there was one gap. He did not mentor anybody. By the time he was leaving office, he was taking us to Raila Odinga because we didn't have anybody. I have decided consciously, in consultation with the elders, to prepare the leaders of tomorrow. And if you see why I've succeeded, why DCP is so strong, why we had such a strong showing in Olkalau, regarding Gachagua, the DCP party leader, is surrounded by young, energetic leaders. I feel youthful myself because of the youthfulness around me. In Olkalau, I made a conscious decision. I said I've been mentoring some young people. I want to test whether they have come of age. I want to see whether this mentorship program of mine has worked. I asked Senator John Methu, 35-year-old, and Chikomoya, please lead the campaign and get your colleagues. Jerry Minor, 29, 30, Karungo Thangwa, 41, young people. Mm-hmm. And I'm to date. Among the things I'm celebrating in this win of Garau is the success of my mentorship program. That the leaders I'm mentoring have come of age. In fact, I was under a lot of pressure from the community that Kalau was very important because of the dignity of our community, that if something went wrong, they would be very offended. And they were finding me a bit irresponsible, in fact, reckless, that I had left it to a 35-year-old man to drive such an important exercise. And many people urged me to move to Kalau and take charge. But I had confidence that for the last 2 years, I've mentored men and women, young ones, and they have come of age. Okay. And I didn't want to know.
Okay.
And I told my people, go and deliver. In fact, when William Ruto put too much money and brought the train, they almost chickened out and said, oh, boss, this thing is too important for us. Ruto has put too much money. We have 7 ministers. Please come and help us. I said, no. You guys, I want to see whether you have come of age. This thing, drive it to the end. Mm-hmm. They reached a point they panic. In fact, I drove all the way to Nyahururu. They convinced me to go and take over the campaign. They were panicking because of the goodies, because of the money. I went to Nyahururu. And then I changed. I went in a small vehicle. I changed. I went round. I listened. I called them. I said, continue. There's no problem. Today, I want to tell the people, there are people who have been saying, oh, the mountain will not have a presidential candidate, or Rigathi Gachagua can be locked out by the courts. In fact, most members of parliament from the mountain, Akina Faith Getawa and Alazi Chungwa, they have gone to William Ruto saying, please, interfere with the courts and make sure Rigathi Gachagua is barred from ever running, because if he runs, he'll finish us. See what you can do with the court and make sure he is barred from ever running, so that if he doesn't run, the mountain doesn't have a presidential candidate, then it's easier for us to get elected. I have very bad news for you. You people who have been pressurizing William Ruto to interfere with the courts and make sure that I'm not a candidate and the mountain has no candidate, I have very bad news for you. I have young men and women who have come of age. In the unfortunate event that William Ruto interferes with the court process and I'm barred from ever running, I have men and women ready to run.
So
me and the community will agree, pick one, and I can tell them, those young people I have are more lethal than Rigiji. In fact, a contest between one of my people, the ones I have, they would have a better showing than I as a presidential candidate, because one, they are youthful, they have a lot of energy, and also the country is craving for youthful leadership. So those who have been going to Ruto crying to him that he can use his influence and money to corrupt the courts so that I'm locked out, so that the mountain will never have a candidate for president, for deputy president, I have bad news for you. After my team, because they are all my young people, 18 of them were there. From among them, in case they succeed, and they say, I cannot, we have men and women, competent, capable, articulate, energetic to be president or deputy president for that matter. And I'm a very happy leader that my mentorship, my community will never be exposed again. That even if today anything happened to me, even if today anything happened to me, I've established successfully a clear leadership structure that the community will never get convinced. If I'm not there, pick so and so, move on.
All right, so you seem to think they're tested, tried, and trusted.
Those guys are good.
Is
my team there? I can consult the community. Pick one of them to presidential candidate. He'll beat William Ruto in the morning.
Since you're so enthusiastic about youthful leadership, there's some who are saying that Edwin Sifuna, the Nairobi senator, is putting the cart before the horse. Masayake bado.
No.
There are others who are saying he's proved himself.
I'm telling Edwin Sifuna not to listen to that nonsense. He's above 18. The Kenyan constitution says anybody above 18 can be president. Edwin Sifuna, please pursue your dream. All dreams are valid. In fact, that is one young man, if given the opportunity, I would also like to mentor. Among my guys, I'm telling you, Rogers, let's be honest.
Would you support a Sifuna ticket?
Why not? I am a kind of a person who is so genuine. You know, Kenyans say Rigiji is a truthful man. I am one leader who is not threatened by youthful people. The kind of method, Karongo, Jerry, the people I have mentored, not many leaders would agree. They would feel threatened. Leaving that campaign to my young leaders to take credit shows that Rigathi Gachagua does not feel threatened by young people. And I will never stifle growth of young leadership. I want to encourage Edwin Sifuna, Akina John Metho, Jane Njeri, Karungo Thangwa, Cleophas Marara, Babu Owino, all these youthful people. Please, the time is now. Let people not tell you that you are leaders of tomorrow. No. Don't listen to that nonsense. The time is now. I look forward to sitting with Edwin Sifuna and listen to him. I've sat with Babu. I've listened to those young people. I've sat with people that I work closely with. I believe that the greatest resource for our country is our youthful population. We have got good leaders. They have no history of corruption. They are not tainted. They are not tribal. They have no beef with anybody. They are not vengeful. What a resource for this country.
Then why caution?
We are not short of options.
Why would you caution the governor of Murang'a?
No. The governor of Murang'a would have fallen into a government scheme without knowing. The chairman of IBC had threatened to cancel the by-election if there is violence. I am a consumer of intelligence. I was deputy president. I was also a civil servant for the longest. I have serious network within government. Actually, I have more information than William Ruto most time. William Ruto is too busy doing business deals. He doesn't know what's going on in the country. I had information that William Ruto had told Ethicon to try to cancel that by-election because it was not going well. That is why he issued a press conference saying, if there is violence, I'll cancel this election. They had planned violence that weekend. So when Kangata said he'll go to Olkalau, one, we had not invited him, but there's nothing wrong with him coming. I actually sent him a message through the Senator Jonyoto. I said, tell Kangata that place is very complicated and there are issues that he wouldn't know. For now, let him keep off. Let it remain a local affair. Because even I, and the party leader, have not gone to campaign for my candidate because I know what is happening. Please let him not go. Okay? So he was told, he said, okay. Then we heard he's still continuing. I sent him again. I said, tell him that it will not augur well if he goes there. There will be violence. Because you know these people have been attacking Leader Mwananchi. So they wanted to attack Leader Mwananchi in Olkalau. Then there is reaction, from the public. Then there are chaos. Then they cancel the by-election. And we didn't want it cancelled because we were winning.
Okay.
Then they also wanted to abduct John Metho. So I also told him to lessen his movement. Even myself, they wanted I go there, they attack me. I lessened my movement. So we outwitted the government through a lot of adverse intelligence. So when my younger brother, Kangata, did not respond positively, and he decided to go ahead, I had to admonish him publicly for him to stop. And he did well, but he decided to go to Nyahururu. You saw what happened? So I am somebody, people of Kenya know, if Ricky G tells you,
you write the words. What if you could hear them as a song? Go to suno.com, switch to custom mode, and paste in your lyrics. Then describe the sound. I'll go with soulful R&B ballad, emotional vocals, piano driven. Hit create. Suno turns your writing into 2 fully produced songs. Your words sung back to you, rewrite sections to tighten the phrasing, extend to build the full track. You can also use Suno to face writer's block head on, create new lyrical ideas and flourishes that you can then reinsert to complete your composition. Your lyrics fully produced from a paste and a prompt. See what your words can become. Subscribe at suno.com.
Neat.
the time is come.
We should get together again very soon.
And you don't want to miss a minute.
You want to know what the difference is?
The only difference is it's not a movie. It's our real life.
We do on assuming office is to restore the dignity of the payslip, you as included. Yeah? So many people in government tell me what is happening. When Mukomen had decided to wreak havoc in the mountain during the memorial of the Jubilee, of the Gen Z protest on 25, they told me what is happening. Even when he sent people to withdraw 200 million to fund violence in the mountain and Nairobi, it is people within the government who told me. And I was able to forestall that. And I want to ask public servants who have been talking to me to continue doing so. As I have done, I have always protected my sources. I am very careful. I'm a smooth operator. I've been around for a while.
The last conversation we had, I tried pressing you. You did
operator.
mention. Yes.
I'm able to get information from government people without exposing them.
All right.
I have created enough mechanisms for people to reach me without coming to me directly, without people bagging phones. I have created all those systems because I am government. I am a working government operative. I've been government for too long. I understand government more than William Ruto. I know what is government. And I've invested heavily on networks, on information. And that's why I'm ahead of William Ruto all the time.
Okay, Gachagua, I'd like us to talk about removing Ruto, what next? But before we get there, is there white smoke in identifying a presidential candidate? What exactly is the mechanism that you favor? We've heard of a scientific approach. Others are pushing for Kenyans to decide. As a matter of fact, we hear that there's a portal opened in terms of choosing your preferred presidential candidate from the united opposition. What's your preferred criteria when you sit at that table eventually to decide who will be facing off against President William Ruto?
Well, to start with, I'm not part of that portal. I don't know anything about it. Nobody has talked to me about it. Number two, in my view, there's no hurry. In my view, President Mwai Kibaki, the third president of this great republic, the greatest leader of our time, the man who transformed this country and dignified all of us, was identified and announced as a single president here.
So
2 months, 13 days apart. We have a year to go.
I'm sure you had Justin Muturi.
No,
Is it cowardice?
I don't think so. I think we need to, the general, you cannot just pick the general without having the company and the platoons and the fireman and the 2 IC. You must prepare the army. So in my view, the army to remove William Ruto are the numbers. So in my view, and what I have done on my part is to mobilize complete. I have done like 70% in the Man Nation. I'm working on it. That is what I consider to be the block that I have quite a big of say.
So,
the sway, yeah? I would expect my colleagues to also consolidate their numbers. I have sent word to Sifuna. I have sent word to Eugene Wamalo. I have sent word to George Natebea, my former colleague in the administration, to Cleophas Malala, to put the act together and consolidate the Western region, where Ruto is making a lot of forests. They must consolidate that region. Kalonzo, to a great extent, has mobilized the Ukambani to sit in the coast, Matiang'i the same, Kisii. Yeah. I am also mobilizing the agencies and the payslip holders. Once the process of consolidation is complete, in my view.
When is that?
In my view, later in the year. Later in the year.
Okay.
Then we can sit down and say, hey, good people, Rigiji, give us a report. I've mobilized this and this. I can talk of so many millions. Mother, what have you done this and this? Eugene, Mafanya, tukubaliane. Then we agree on the mechanism. On my case, I have done the mobilization. But the people I lead are not told where to go by anybody. They are the ones who decide where to go, and the leaders follow. That's why I'm in Wamanyoro. I'm also listening, so that when I go to this conversation, probably later in the year, early January, I have mandate from the people that I lead, because I don't have an opinion of my own. I lead people who are very independent-minded. And if you find President Uhuru Kenyatta understood those people a bit late, when he tried to tell them, let's follow this direction, they say no, because he had not consulted them. I want to do things differently. I am a very consultative leader. The slogan for my party is Skiza wa Kenya.
All right.
I am listening.
Okay.
And I have picked a lot of things. In fact, many things I thought I would have done, I will do them differently because I have been told.
All right.
No, don't go in that direction. Apo? No. Don't go that way. This is a good path. Follow this path. This one, no. You know, in my view, I cannot enter that discussion with anybody until I conclude consultations with my support base and I get clear mandates, direction and instructions. When I get, if my colleagues are ready for us to engage, I'll engage. But telling you I can engage tomorrow, I'll be cheating you. I don't have the mandate. I have not consulted extensively and sufficiently to enable me make an informed decision that has clear mandate from the people. You know, my brother, you may go there and endorse something. You come back to the people, they say, that's your decision. You must carry the people along with you.
Okay.
And that's what I'm doing.
Interesting. Before we sample some of the questions that are being forwarded, and by the way, the hashtag to use is Rigathi on KTN, I'd like us to talk about if you succeed to remove Ruto, then what? And we'll focus on the key sectors of the economy, perhaps starting with education. I'd like your reaction to the government's plan to roll out the fully funded tertiary education. We heard from President William Ruto that that move will scrap the 2023 income-based higher education funding model, which had faced widespread criticism, including from yourself. Did they finally get it right this time round? They've shifted the burden from the parents to the government. Is this a step in the right direction?
When we successfully remove William Ruto from power next year, and it will happen, by the way, I've been in many successions. This is the easiest.
Voters will decide, yes.
This is the easiest. From where I sit. The voters would decide, but we are players. And we talk to these voters. We know them, we understand them. The first thing is to fix the social sectors. The first thing we must do is to restore security in this country. Because even if you fix everything else, an insecure population cannot be productive. The first thing is to restore the security of this country. One, will restore the independence of the National Police Service. We'll have radical surgery to weed out all the rogue police officers who have created hell to the people of Kenya. They will be weeded out. Those who have committed crimes against the people of Kenya will be prosecuted. Those who have been complacent as Kenyans are being maimed will be retired. We'll inject new energy and new leadership with the National Police Service. Number two, and most important, we will dismantle all criminal gangs and incapacitate all goons in the Republic of Kenya so that Kenyans are free and feel safe. Their lives are safe, their properties are safe. That is one. Number two, we must take care of the education sector. Education is the greatest equalizer. Our constitution guarantees the right to education to every child. What Mwai Kibaki did to this country is one of his greatest legacy. We must restore fully free primary education by giving the right amount on time. As we speak, the education is free on paper, but not practically. Money for capitation is never released on time, and sometimes it's not released at all. Secondary school principals are living in fear because of auctioneers. Education and free day secondary education, because it's important. Once we do that, we'll work on the university financing model by having consultations and public participation with all the stakeholders, the lecturers, the tutors, the parents, and the students. The things that William Ruto is promising, those are lies. There is no budgetary provision. And you know,
I know that it's a bill in Parliament.
No, there's nothing. You know, you don't promise things that are not budgeted. Yeah? Even if the bill passes in Parliament, where will the money come from? Unless he'll have to do supplementary budget. Already we are in deficit. You know, we are borrowing money even to do development. We are borrowing money even to pay salaries. We fix education. Again, we have to look at the curriculum. Yeah? What is happening, there's a lot of confusion. Yeah? There's a lot of confusion. The parents, the teachers, the students who don't understand what is happening. We'll have to fix the health sector. We had a working NHIS system. William Ruto came, put it aside, and brought an animal called SHA, whose very intention was an avenue for corruption. That system was brought at a cost of 104 billion shillings, and it's not working. Even in Olkalau, it has been switched off to punish the people of Olkalau because of the way they voted. We don't want that where people can be punished because of exercising their democratic right. We must, through consulting health providers, both the public sector and the private sector, the medics, the nurses, the clinical officers, the owners of private hospitals, the faith-based hospitals by the Catholic Church, by PCA and all others, we consult everybody so that we come up with a workable health intervention for the people of Kenya. Once we do that, we must restore the dignity of the payslip. This housing thing is unwanted by people of Kenya. There was no public participation. People do not think it's work of government to build houses.
But it was in your manifesto.
The work of houses. The work of houses. Manifesto, but we thought it will be a voluntary exercise. Those who want. But it's compulsory. Even yourself, you are taxed. And I don't know whether you need the house. So we are going to scrap the housing levy and the houses that have already been constructed. If I am president, I'll allocate them to our police officers across the country so that they can live in dignity. The
What
houses
about the
have,
people who've contributed?
the ones who have contributed, we'll see. There are many that are in the process. Those ones, because the election is next year, once they are complete, those ones we don't have to give them to anybody. Those ones we allocate them to our police officers and other people who are serving government. The extra ones we'll give them to the county governments to list them out and create revenue for the county government.
So back to my question. I'd asked about that proposed tertiary universal funding bill.
I am saying I have not interrogated that bill myself. I'll ask my members to share with me. Okay. I must be very honest because I like being truthful.
Fair enough.
I have not had a look at it.
Okay.
But now that you have brought it up, I'm going to have a look at it so that I interrogate it. And when we meet next time, I can give you my opinion.
Briefly, let's talk about the independence of the three arms of government. Just today, Law Society of Kenya were boycotting the courts due to issues they've raised around accountability. Ideally, judges should be beyond reproach. You've mentioned that Parliament has been captured. How do we fix this state capture of other arms of government?
We must free the three arms of government to work independently.
How?
They'll be by allowing them, giving them budget, and allowing them to function. That's why we are looking for very good legislators. My party wants quality. I don't want what we are having today. What in my community are calling tugege. We don't want that. People who have no mind of their own, people who are just after their stomach. The 13th Parliament is an embarrassment to this country. The Speaker himself is a youth winger for UDA. Even the courts have stopped him from being a youth winger. He's still insisting. The Speaker of the National Assembly is supposed to moderate debate by not taking sides. This one is a youth winger. And I told him when we met in a funeral in Olkalau, yes, we want a parliament with good legislators who can make good laws, who can do proper representation, and who can do oversight. We want an independent judiciary. I don't want to prejudice my own case, but Kenyans were shocked that a court of law can say under Article 50, the right to fair hearing, that somebody did not get fair hearing, and then go ahead and say, the decision that came out of a process that is not constitutional stands. This is constitutional absurdity. I don't want to go into it because it's the Court of Appeal. But these are some of the things that have really shocked the people of Kenya. Yeah. We have seen many cases where High Court has issued conservatory orders stopping government from certain things that are constitutional. And then the Court of Appeals lifts these orders and allows the government to continue. So there are many concerns, and I think the boycott that is going on is a good thing, so that the judges, all the way from Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, they can know Kenyans are not happy, and they can know that Kenyans are looking at them.
But some have questioned the approach of the boycott. It will be infringing on the rights of those who need to seek access to justice.
If the courts have impunity? What do you do? Sometimes it's just like this thing I talked about tourists. Ordinarily, that is not the right way to do. But if the government is the one causing insecurity, you have no other intervention, you go to the next available alternative. But I think the lawyers have made their case today. The judges know they are under scrutiny. And they'll weigh themselves before they become unfair, before they are compromised by the state to give rulings in favor of the state or against certain people. I think the awareness that has been created by this boycott is good enough.
Fair enough. It's 4 years to the end of
Form imejipa na county. Wapiga sip, scratch tujishindie. It's easy to be a winner, usipatwe ukisinzia. Msimu na laptop, hadi pool table. Tunaweza jishindia. Shinda over 35 million in prizes. Nunua county leo. Kwa ruhusa ushinde.
Public assets are being sold without public participation, where, pending bills have not been paid for the last 4 years. I mean, really, he's just joking around with the people of Kenya.
Okay.
It's like this Singapore nonsense he had brought, and then he stopped it when people started laughing at him. I told people to laugh at him in meetings when he mentioned Singapore, because it's a joke. It's a serious joke. Youth unemployment is a serious challenge. And I agree with you that some people have taken advantage of the frustration of the youth to lull them into crime through goonism, and it's unfortunate. We need to be very deliberate on how to deal with the youth implosion, the youth unemployment challenge, by agreeing that we must do import substitution. We must encourage investors to come and open factories here so that they can absorb our young people into employment and also start paying taxes and enhance the tax base. We must encourage agro-processing and value addition. We must create those opportunities. We must look for ways of financial inclusion so that we have affordable credit for our young people to start small businesses. Right. These are things that we must do, and we must be very deliberate about it, because we cannot get a white-collar job for everybody, much as we want to encourage manufacturing and starting of agro-processing plants for value addition and all. We must also look at financial inclusion, where we can train our young people in how to start small businesses, and then they can also absorb their colleagues in those businesses.
Now, allow me to, because we're pressed of time,
yes.
Rigiji, it would be improper to finish this conversation without sampling some of the feedback we've got, which is quite a lot. I'll try to pick one or two. I'll rush you through your answers, if you don't mind, due to time. I think I'll start with a question raised. Ask him if he can mend fences with Ruto to make peace. Are you willing to work with President William Ruto now or in the near future?
I don't know what he means by making peace, because Kenya is a democracy. I don't think not having competition is making peace. I'm willing to compete with William Ruto for democracy. The peace that we need in Kenya is the elimination of goons and police. That is the peace that we need. I don't think democracy and healthy competition is a lack of peace. I think democracy is healthy.
Someone is asking about this post that was previously held by Isaac Mwaura. Is it one of the casualties for Mount Kenya following the loss of the Olkalau by-election?
Well, probably yes. Probably because the ODM characters are saying the people of the mountain should be sacked. Probably, I don't know.
So it's punishment,
I don't
promotion?
know. I'm not sure. Okay. But he also wasn't much. He wasn't doing much, and he wouldn't do much anyway, because Ruto is the one who speaks on every topic. Even the one who has come will not do much.
There's a touchy issue right here. Kindly ask Gachagua about the disappearance of analyst Mwenda Mbijiwe during a joint campaign rally with President Ruto in Meru. You and Ruto himself said that Mwenda would be released once he took power. What happened to that?
Yeah, it's true. We made that commitment because we believed that the fourth administration was responsible for his abduction. So when we came in, we followed that matter, and he was not traced. He's among the people who disappeared. Unfortunately, even before we could trace the disappearance of Mwenda, William Ruto allowed the DCI and needs to start also abducting people, and people started disappearing.
So is Mwenda Mbijiwe dead or alive?
I am not sure. Okay. I tried to follow up personally, because it's a commitment I gave to the people in Meru, and I gave up. By the time I left, I didn't have an answer. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Say hi to Rigiji. Please ask him to speak for teachers and expose the Ruto government. I think that's one of the questions. The case of Albert Ojwang pains more when seen than heard. Lastly, we need a bill to strengthen devolution in our wards and counties by introducing, reviewing, and making ward fund functional. Comments on that?
Our teachers are in trouble. Their pay slips have been raided. There's a lot of tribalism in TSC. The new TSC secretary comes from Ruto's community. She's just employing people from his community and promoting people from his community to the exclusion of other teachers. There is a scheme to interfere with the SACCOs, where teachers have put their savings. William Ruto has raided NSSF. He is planning to raid SACCOs to get that money for budgeted corruption for infrastructural development. The teachers must say no. And I want to commend teachers in our cloud. Most of them were recruited as presiding officers and they were being approached to be given some money to compromise the election. And they say they cannot because they cannot take 20,000 as a bribe, yet their pay slips are raided daily. I have every hope that our teachers will join us in creating change for this country because they are serious stakeholders. They are people who play a very great role in the development of our human resource and human capital. And we must continuously speak for them. I spoke for them when SHA was not working because their union leaders had been compromised by William Ruto. I spoke very strongly that they were getting a road deal and something was done. And I'm told things are much better. I always speak for our teachers because I respect teachers because I am a product of good education. And teachers are very important people.
Indeed, we can't argue with that. We haven't talked about fight against corruption, which is a sore issue in this country. Till date, we have independent agencies mandated to fight this monster called graft. Yet it's a drop in the ocean in terms of their efforts. So in 30 seconds, are you the man to fight?
Corruption can only be fought in this country from the top. Only when we have a president who is not interested in corruption can corruption end. Once the president is in corruption, it follows downwards. William Ruto has made State House a den of corruption. To start with, he bribes people openly. I heard Kindiki saying people should not be bribed and government people should not bribe people. He is the one doing it daily. William Ruto bribes teachers, he bribes churches, he bribes everybody. Corruption is in State House. All deals are done in State House. The SHA thing, 104 billion by William Ruto. E-citizen corruption. In fact, why, if Kenyan failed to remove William Ruto from this office, as head of this country, he'll ruin this country, you finish it completely. He's the most corrupt president ever since independence. And I am saying, from where I sit, the only way to fight corruption in this country is to get a president who will not partake corruption so that his measures can permeate downwards. But if the president is in it, the president today, he is head of procurement. He's the one who procures all government jobs. He's the one who decides who brings rice, who brings sugar, himself, who gets this contract, who gets that contract. And it has gone. In fact, what is happening now, his people around him, especially his tribesmen, they are saying his injury time. They can see Ruto may not come back, so they are stealing left, right, and center, plundering everything. This country is on its deathbed.
Well, I know.
Unless we wake up early on the 10th of August, vote and protect our votes, and bring a new government. If this government, in the unfortunate and unlikely event, they find their way back, there will be no country.
Mr. Gachagua, I know a fish starts to rot at the head, but strengthening these independent institutions would perhaps be...
There must be political goodwill. There must be a president who doesn't want to get involved in corruption. That is a president who will empower ASCC. He'll empower DCI. He'll empower everybody else. And things will flow. Like Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki never got involved in corruption. And that's how we got very serious economic growth in this country. We must learn from President Mwai Kibaki and be like him, you know?
But I remember there was a golden bag scandal during his time. Till date, we haven't seen. I know he wasn't
golden
involved,
bag was during Moi's time.
Or before, yeah.
There was Triton, but Mwai Kibaki moved in. He sacrificed all ministers. Even people who were very close to him.
All right,
they had to go.
We've come to the end of this conversation.
Thank you very much.
We've canvassed most things. I hope you'll make time for us next time.
Yeah, sure.
And of course, as members of the Fourth Estate, we'll be taking some of your sentiments, fact-checking them in order to ensure that...
Please do, and we want to thank you for bringing out very courageously the challenges Kenyans are facing. You've been very consistent in calling out goonism. You've been very consistent in calling out corruption. You have been very consistent in calling out impunity. No wonder you are being attacked by Ruto himself. I want to encourage you that you have a duty to this country, and don't be sold fear. And history will judge you kindly for what you are doing. I want to encourage you and your colleagues, please continue standing in for the people of Kenya, because if you don't, this country will get finished.
Well, I want to encourage you. That's the reason why we're called the fourth estate. We'll persevere on, and not just Standard Group, but the entire fraternity as media. Thank you so much for your time. We're hoping to other fruitful discussions. That's all we had for you. Hope you're adequately informed. My name is Jesse Rogers. Till next time, good evening. Thank you.
Get ready for the ultimate thrill of football action.
Martinelli! Deflection on the way through!
The most exciting sports show and predictions that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Liverpool against Manchester City is going to be a draw.
Join us as we bring you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and the hottest predictions for the upcoming matches.
Tuna focus on which games Tusker has a good history against Leopards. You mechi usweke kichwa popote.
From the tactical masterclasses to the jaw-dropping goals, we've got it all covered. Don't miss out on the excitement where every kick, every goal, and every prediction matters. The Football Sleep, every Friday from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m.
No matter who you are or how you play, only emotions count. This is your moment, your move, your success formula. Bets for everyone. Reveal yourself. 1xBet.
Unity, unity, Dakayanga unity, mama.
Dial star 811 star 920 hash to get this as your Skiza tune. KTN, ndio hope.
Get ready for the ultimate thrill of football action.
Martinelli! Deflection on the way through!
The most exciting sports show and predictions that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
Liverpool against Manchester City is going to be a draw.
Join us as we bring you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and the hottest predictions for the upcoming matches.
Tuna focus on which games Tusker has a good history against Leopards. You mechi usweke kichwa popote.
From the tactical masterclasses to the jaw-dropping goals, we've got it all covered. Don't miss out on the excitement where every kick, every goal, and every prediction matters. The Football Sleep, every Friday from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m.
No matter who you are or how you play, only emotions count. This is your moment, your move, your success formula. Bets for everyone. Reveal yourself. 1xBet.
I never thought I'd ever feel this way again, but now...
Son.